Papa, are you nuts?
Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And for this evening stock talk, we'll be going through GameStop, GE, Bitcoin, and Chevron. So without further ado, let's get right into the stock review of GE. Let's start off with GE. I believe that GE can be very profitable for you guys. Now, not all of these I'm going to advise you guys to actually invest in, but GE, once again, is showing one of the most promising returns, and they're actually doing pretty well, which is now considered a very down market. They haven't considered it a official recession or depression, but we're somewhat in a pandemic recession. And I know a lot of investors, traditional investors, Bitcoin investors are saying that we are essentially in a time where things may go sour for most investors, but even in a down market, you guys can still make pretty good money, but you have to understand how to do what? You have to understand how to maneuver the market. So GE, over the past 5 years, it looks very daunting, right? It looks, this won't be a good investment for me. It's been down 54%, but over the past year has done a 180 degree turnaround. So 28.21% in the past year, in the past 3 months, around 25%, the past month, around 18%, a little bit over that. The past week, they've been up over 5%. And today, GE did roughly a 0.30%, but in the aftermarkets is actually down. But again, we're looking at long term, and that's what you guys should actually be looking at instead of, again, short term, especially in a market that we have going on today. Okay, so let's move right along here. We're going to go through this very quickly. Now, earlier I bought an option contract that expires on April 9th. Okay, on April 9th, so a little bit over a month. And I bought this option around $13.50. So I'm expecting this to make a little small profit. Now, for you guys that saw me lose $7,000, $6 to $7,000 on a few options that I have with Tesla and also with AMD, yes, I am down around $7,000 for the month. Okay, does not feel good, but again, the money that you invest in the stock market should be money that you're willing to lose, even though it's not gambling. In some instances, if you're not using money that you can lose, it can be gambling with your future. Now, GE has been around more than 100 years. Let's look at this. 1878. It's almost going on 200 years, 150 years that GE has been around. They have roughly 174,000 employees, and they have very small dividends. So you're not investing in GE with the dividends. You're investing in GE with the potential for growth, okay? The potential for growth. And the industry that GE is in, believe it or not, they're in healthcare supplies, they're in aviation, they're also in jet engines. They're in a lot of things that we're going to briefly go over so you guys totally understand the amount of market space that GE is actually taking up. Now, I agree 100% with Robinhood analysts at 67% buy and 33% hold and a 0% sell. We're not going to really get into the bulls or what the bears are saying, okay? Because I believe GE is a solid stock, and I don't really any more information on that. I've done my research, and again, you saw me. I bought an option. I'm hopefully that will be profitable for me. Now, here's a little bit of history about my trading transactions with GE. As you can tell here, I made small profits by buying contracts. And I'm still buying contracts today. You can tell this one says 12 hours out. So I am still hot on GE. I'm not letting GE go. I think GE is doing great things. And when people come off when this pandemic essentially clears up, I know there's spikes in Brazil, there's spikes in the UK, but nonetheless, Boeing has a huge contract with GE, and we should be watching that very, very closely. And I think also with this additional information I'm about to show you about GE, just for some additional information that you guys might have known, because most people know GE is a General Electric company. That's all they do. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that GE, as I stated before, is in aviation, power, healthcare, renewable energy, and all other sorts of businesses. And here it is. This is somewhat of a GE jet, but they have their own jet turbines. And as I told you before, GE is heavy. GE is heavy in contract with Boeing. Now, when the world market calls for more planes to be made, guess who is supplying the turbine engines? GE with Boeing. So we need to be very cognizant of the amount of profit that you can make with GE over time. Again, this is long term, because right now the market, oh man, the market is very, very rocky. There's a lot of things going on in politics. There's a lot of things going on in social media, but nonetheless, hold GE long term. Let's move on. We're moving on, and we're going to head over to GameStop. Whenever this pops in, give me 1 second here. All right. I'm having a couple of issues here. Let me try one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm hot here. I see that it's giving me a blank stream. Let me see something here. Let's try this. Give me 1 second. We're going to go over to GameStop. All right, there we go. There it is. So with GameStop, ladies and gentlemen, automatically right off the bat, okay, I'm going to kill the nanny on this one. I'm not going to waste any time with GameStop. My personal perspective and opinion, I am not investing in GameStop at any time. I'm not going to do it. I'm not investing in GameStop at any time. GameStop is so volatile because of the Wall Street bets guys. Again, because of the Wall Street bets guys. And initially, I was kind of on board what they were doing as far as short squeezing this particular stock. Then they started to pump it and dump it. Okay, they started to pump it and dump it. So initially, I can't get on board with this particular stock. I absolutely cannot. It's too volatile for me. So let's go over why it's so volatile. Now, other than the Wall Street bets guys, I want you to see some information here. I want you to follow along with me here. So in the past 5 years, it's been up 360% in the past year. Okay. I doubt if that is the current numbers at 0%. Let's see something here. All right. For some strange reason, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a lot of technical. There we go. It's popping in now. Over the past year, it's been up 3,600%. Now, granted, that's phenomenal. Any other time, I will love such return on your investment. But when it comes to GameStop, we have to understand that this stock has essentially been contaminated by Wall Street bets. And at first, a lot of people were liking what they're doing, but now what we're seeing is biting us in the butts if you don't know how to maneuver the market. It's going to bite you in the butt if you don't know how to move in the market. And they're maneuvering the market. Essentially, they are controlling the market. Okay, so in the past month, it's been up 714%. In the past month, it's been up 114%. The past week, 32%. And then today, it's been up roughly 4.5%, okay, including the aftermarket. Now, we know what GameStop is all about. The headquarters in Grapeville, Texas. And I'm looking at the dividends here. The dividends look delicious, but it's something that I want you guys to see here, okay? So if I go in the past year, let me spread this out just a little bit. If I go in the past year, GameStop went to, let's see, was it about $400? I don't believe this is accurate, but at this particular point, I want you to look right under that particular price point of $347.51. If you see what I'm talking about here, you see 9,000, that this stock went up 9,000%. That is crazy. And that is because that, again, the Wall Street bets guys, they actually short squeezed the stock. Then they pumped it. And then with platforms like Robinhood, and I believe Fidelity and Charles Schwab, I think some other particular platform, literally limited and restricted trading on GameStop, which made it fall. Now GameStop is now sort of bouncing back, I guess. But again, my recommendation and my personal perspective on this is not to invest in the stock. If you are a beginning or an intermediate, investor, I will definitely leave this stock alone. I'm going to tell you why that what's going on right now with GameStop is kind of unconventional with an outside entity like the Wall Street Bets Group that is kind of controlling the way the stock performs. And look what Robinhood analysts have right here. So it says 0% buy out of 8 ratings, 50% hold, 50% sell. Right off the back, I've never seen a stock where it was 50% hold and 50% sell. This is the first time I've ever seen a stock. I can't recall any other time I've seen a stock where you shall hold and sell at 50%. That really gives investors no reassurance that there's any possibility that that stock will actually gain anything. Now, when we're looking at this is where I was calling riding the wave, and I made a little bit of money. You guys see this? That I bought on January 25th. I bought about 5.8 shares. So let's say the 6 shares of GameStop around $605. I'm rounding up. Then I sold it the very next day and I got 1,000. So I got roughly $400 something on that return. Not bad. Not bad. That's why I call it riding the wave. I'd won that time, but riding the wave is not a smart strategy. I cannot beat the drum on this enough. Riding the wave, which I do, is not a smart strategy. And some of you were thinking, well, you made money off of it. But ladies and gentlemen, I made money off it. Doesn't mean that you will make money off of it. Okay. I'm just kind of giving you my perspective on the certain strategies that are being used. D'Angelo says, do it. Pump and dump. I don't know exactly what he's referring to, talking about do it. But also the information that I kind of want to give you on GameStop very quickly that I think will help you to make a really good decision in your investments. It's some news that I've been actually putting out there for quite some time. And we're going to go over some of these questions now. With that being said, it says right here, I'm going to blow this up so everyone can see it. GameStop, the largest video game retailer in the world, is headed for some serious trouble. After a years-long downward spiral into debt, the company announced during December timeframe, it says investors that it will close, listen to this, it will close more than 1,000 stores by the fiscal year in March, okay? So that's March 2021. What month are we in? We're in March 2021. Then it goes into saying that, again, they're going to shut down more than 1,000 stores, total about March. They're still on the same trajectory, okay? So, again, you guys have to be looking at this news because this is going to help you to make a solid investment. So how in the world is a online and brick and mortar game retailer shutting over 1,000 stores, but the stock is essentially exploding? Again, it went to $400. And that is because there's that Wall Street Bets, these villains out there. And again, they're not the only villains. The platforms that restricted trading on GameStop are the villains as well, like Robinhood. I'm not going to lie. They actually cost me $2,000 because I could not get rid of the stock quick enough because they limited and restricted trading, okay? Because of what these guys were doing. And I'm still trying to research to see if that was legal. There's a lot of federal government, Federal Trade Commission jargon and babble that I'm really trying to comb through and particularly understand, but I cannot yet. Then it goes on to say here that GameStop have closed almost 800 stores worldwide. Okay, 800 stores worldwide. And I'm gonna let you guys see this. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys see this. Let me get this banner off here very quickly. Okay, that GameStop is closing 800 stores worldwide. Now, that was back in 2019. As the previous questions I was showing you guys, it says, but the company closed 462 stores in 2020 and then plans to close another 1,000 stores. Okay. Then the story up here again, verifies, and these are all different websites that I went to get this information, but all of these verify one another, that they're closing over 1,000 stores. Me personally, again, I really don't want to, beat the horse on this one, but I have to. Do not, in my opinion, do not invest in GameStop. I don't think it's going to turn out good for you. Okay. I really don't think so. But with that being said, let's move on to Chevron. I think Chevron, right off the back, I'm going to tell you right now, I think that Chevron can really bring in some profit for you guys. I really think that Chevron can bring us some profit. When you look at this stock price, you're thinking, oh, that's $100 some odd dollars. I don't have that particular money. But again, with platforms like Robinhood, WeBull, M1 Finance, and some others, you can actually invest $5 or more, and there's still money to be made. Okay. And you see that the Robinhood analysts will say 64% buy. Even though I'm a little perturbed at Robinhood, I still think it's a great platform. So that's why I'm still using them. Now, in the past 5 years, Chevron has been up 28% in the past year. Here we go again. They've been up about 14% in the past 3 months, around 19%. The past month, around 20%, a little bit over 20%. And then the past week, 6.5%. And then today, take away the percentage of the aftermarket, we're looking at around 4.27, 4.28 rather. Okay. And then this is also an old company as well. Chevron has been around since 1906, and they're out of California with 4.98 dividends. Again, that's not going to be as much dividends as you believe, but it are some dividends. But this is definitely a long-term stock that I think that you guys can get into. Of course, Chevron is into energy. Now, we're going to get into why I believe that Chevron is a very good stock for you to buy, because there's great information coming out about Chevron that I think that you guys should really pay attention to. So the analyst rating here on Chevron is 64%. Hold is 36%. We're not going to get into the bulls and bears. We're just on a brief overview. We're looking at their earnings. See, Q2 of fiscal year 20, they were down, and they're bouncing right back up. So they're doing pretty well. Here's some other people in their particular sector, mainly British Petroleum and also ExxonMobil. So let's go over to this information I want to show you guys. I'm very excited about this. Believe it or not, I'm very, very excited. All right. So this is what I'm talking about right here. So now you see Chevron, Microsoft, you've seen Schoenberger collaborate on carbon negative bioenergy. When I read some of this story, now some of this technology, you're not going to really understand. Even myself, some of you may not. But again, you just have to picture a world that essentially all the energy that we are releasing into the atmosphere is going to be used to actually power things. Okay. So when it comes to Chevron, they're going to be in conjunction with Microsoft as well as Scumberger. Now, Scumberger is heading this project with the help of Chevron and Microsoft. So essentially the things I was trying to gather the information is that Microsoft is actually going to build the software and some of the control and measuring devices. Okay. Some of the control and measure devices with the help of Chevron. Chevron's going to have a great deal in this as well. And it talks about here, clean energy systems technology to remove the equivalent of CO2 emissions from 65,000 homes. So here it is. It says the Chevron Corporation, Scumberger New Energy, Microsoft, and Clean Energy Systems today announced plans to develop a groundbreaking bioenergy with carbon capture and sequestration (BECCS) project designed to produce carbon negative power in California, Mendota, California. It says the plant will convert agricultural waste biomass such as almond trees into, listen to this, the biomass from almond trees into a renewable synthesis gas that would be mixed with oxygen in a combustor to generate electricity. More than 99% of the carbon from the BECCS process is expected to be captured for permanent storage by ejecting carbon dioxide underground into a nearby deep geologic formation. So what I'm getting from that, I'm no scientist, is that all of this energy that's going to be produced essentially from almond trees, in the renewable synthesis gas of the oxygen mixed with the combustion of generating electricity, they're saying almost 100% of the carbon produced by this is expected to be captured for permanent storage, okay? Permanent storage, then later used in a underground natural geologic formation, almost like a storage room, okay? That's going to keep that gas in there. And then I'm pretty sure they're going to have some measuring devices of the volume of how many pounds of pressure and gas that particular geologic formation can hold. Of course, they're going to have some hoses and pumps and things of that nature so they can actually use that. So the amount of methane and certain gases, biomass that releases into the atmosphere will be captured. It goes on to say that by using biomass fuel that consumes CO2 over its lifetime to produce power and then safely and permanently storing to produce CO2, the process is designed to result in net negative carbon emissions, effectively removing greenhouse gas from the atmosphere. So this is actually helping the world. This is helping the atmosphere, maybe the stratosphere, okay? It says that the plant, when completed, is expected to remove about 300,000 tons of CO2 annually, which is equivalent to the emissions from electricity of use of more than 65,000. And when we talk about energy, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to understand how energy is broken down. Like essentially, Obama started the whole fracking thing. Now America actually produces most of our own oil. So when we drill down, whether it be offshore or inshore, when we drill down, we have the remnants of oil that people were not using, but still had energy, which is the fracking part comes in. So he sped up the technology on fracking. Now we actually use the remnants of oil, and it's actually being produced to energize, electric station and cars, gasoline stations, etc. The list is extensive. But anytime they drill for oil and oil is there's a pocket of natural gas. Natural gas is actually being used in America for 65% to power electric. See, what people don't understand, we don't just harness, lightning from the sky and then use that inside of our electric. No, we actually need fossil fuels to generate electricity, and natural gas over 60% is being used to actually generate electricity in America. So understanding this market just a little bit, not on the same level I'm speaking on, but just a little bit, in my opinion, is very important. Okay, is very, very important. Now, I do believe that if you have this information, that is very important that you understand this. Okay, so of course, last but not least, we're going to move over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin. A lot of us who are in Generation X, the millennials, Generation Y, I believe some of them are 18. I don't know yet, but nonetheless, we're loving Bitcoin. Okay, we're loving Bitcoin. Excuse me, I popped on the wrong screen. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. All right. I don't know why they're doing. Give me 1 second here. But Bitcoin, I believe in the future is going to be very profitable. And everybody is saying the same thing. Bitcoin is going to be worth this amount. Bitcoin is going to be worth that amount. And we're going to get into this, why we believe that Bitcoin is going to do very, very well. Now, Bitcoin today, as this thing is taking its time popping in here, Bitcoin today is back down to 49,000. Okay. And we understand over the past 3 months, Bitcoin has been performing very, very well. So Bitcoin got up to about, I want to say 60 grand actually, but now it's back down to 49. So let's just take, for instance, at 57,005. So a lot of us, if you invested at a high price point, you lost money, but if you got in low, then you made some money. But over the past 5 years, this is crazy, Bitcoin has been up 11,000%. The past year, Bitcoin has been up 440%. The past 3 months, 155%. The past month, 27%. The past week, 5%. And today, around 4%. So yeah, it's having performing at its normal rate. But again, Bitcoin, if I can't express this enough, only invest money in Bitcoin that you are okay with losing. that you are okay with losing. It's very, very volatile. Okay. When I'm looking at the past month, look at this. Now, this is looking like a normal stock. Okay. So January 8th, 2021, Bitcoin was up 40 grand. Then a couple of days later, it was up 32. So it already dropped 8 grand. That is so significant. That's such a steep decline. That tells you, stocks are just not swinging 8 grand left and right. Then look at the price of Bitcoin. It's at 49,000. Okay. So again, we're not talking about any chump change here. And again, if you guys are investing in Bitcoin, I really want you guys to really, 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 really think and do some research about how Bitcoin came to be, learn about digital ledgers, think about the Bitcoin network, understanding cryptocurrency, and it's also a little bit about blockchain. See, my thing is you want to be a well-educated, well-informed investor, and you should know just a little bit about what's going on, okay? So here we go right here. So here's my current stance with Bitcoin. It is 52% of my portfolio. And listen, I don't even have a Bitcoin yet. I'm at 0.2. Now I have over 10 grand in Bitcoin right here, 10 grand. I'm heavily invested in Bitcoin and I'm only up 17%. So my total return is $1,768, around $1,769, just rounding up a little bit. But I believe that Bitcoin, possibly if I'm patient enough, could make me some real good money. And I'm going to keep that money in there, crossing my fingers. But Bitcoin is a fickle beast, is a fickle animal. And a lot of us traditional investors, now I've been dealing with Bitcoin for about the past 5 or 6 years, and I'm still learning. The pendulum swings heavy on Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. It absolutely spins heavy on Bitcoin. But let me tell you, there's been a lot of people coming out, not just Elon Musk, but one of my, old favorite financial advisors, TV hopefuls, Susie Orman. She came out and she said why she loves Bitcoin. And we're going to get into that, why I also agree with her, because they're looking at Bitcoin like the next gold. Okay. Not bull crapping you at all, ladies and gentlemen. I want to show you this very, very quickly. Let me see here. Give me a second. We're going to get into this. I want to hear from the horse's mouth itself. So here we go.
All right, here is a question I'm dying to ask Susie Orman. What is your take on Bitcoin?
I love Bitcoin. On my Women in Money podcast, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did I think I did 2 things on Bitcoin as to why I like it. I like the universality of it. I like that it's just there and the corporations that are investing in it. I do not like Bitcoin, Andy, as a currency. I don't like it where you're going to buy a Tesla or you're going to buy something with it. I like it as a possible replacement for gold, as an investment. And I personally played Bitcoin through MicroStrategies. In June of last year, I bought MicroStrategy.
Stop right there, Susie. You said all of what I needed you to say. She said that she is looking at Bitcoin as a replacement for gold. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely huge. And some of you will say, well, there's no way Bitcoin can replace gold, because gold is tangible and Bitcoin is essentially untangible. It's technology. It's encrypted technology. We're talking about that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin. You have all these cryptocurrencies out there, Stellar Lumens, Ripple, the list goes on and on and on. And of course, Bitcoin is the gold standard of cryptocurrencies, but nonetheless, they're looking at Bitcoin as a replacement for gold. They're speaking very futuristically, because guess what? Of course, as gold becomes more rare, the price of gold goes up. But what happens when we stop finding gold? And see, if you notice, I haven't really looked at the price of gold, but the last time I looked at the price of gold per ounce was around $1,800 and $1,900. So essentially, when I move away from precious metals backing money. Because right now in America and the Western world, the dollar is not backed by gold. We need to understand that the dollar is backed by the fiat system, the system of debt. Now, countries like Africa, still in South America, their money is still backed by gold and silver. But as those precious metals become more rare and we're moving further into the technology age, okay, we're moving further into the technology age where they're putting a price tag on encrypted technology. And that is essentially what Bitcoin is. So you should be investing in Bitcoin, whether you believe in it or not. It's not a belief system. Is this they're putting a tangible number on technology. It's quite ridiculous. I see that we have D Hill in the room. We have Princess Friday. We all have Jermaine Anderson. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for joining me this evening on this Stock Talk. I just want to make sure that we're making the right decision when it comes to our investments. Now, last but not least, I truly want to get into the things that people want to know the most when it comes to Bitcoin. And I believe that Google does a great job of scouring the internet to absolutely understand some of these questions. So what we're going to do, we're going to hop over there very quickly, and we're going to go over some of these questions. It says, can you really get free Bitcoins? Ladies and gentlemen, there's about 4 ways you can get free Bitcoins, okay? And it says here, ways to earn Bitcoins for free online. You can join purchase reward programs, okay? Go just do a quick Google search of Bitcoin reward programs, then open an interest-bearing Bitcoin account, become an affiliate marketer. And here's probably the most easiest thing. If you have a really, really good laptop or a really, really good desktop, get paid to mine Bitcoin without any specialized hardware. You just need your computer, and it needs to have quite a bit of processing power. So gamers out there, if you have a nice gaming computer, look into mining Bitcoin. Now, here's a thing that I've been telling people for a very long time. Right off the back, this is from the Motley Fool, which is one of my favorite websites to invest on, to do my research on. Bitcoin is an incredibly risky investment, okay? Then it goes on to say, so it's probably not the best fit for most people. But if you're eager to invest in the cryptocurrency, it's important to do it safely. Again, they put it right here in plain writing. You may lose money investing in Bitcoin, but it's a good idea to prepare for the worst just in case, okay? So again, I guess I'm okay with losing 10 grand because, ladies and gentlemen, today, when my 2 option expired, I lost 7 grand. Now, if my fiance is hearing this, yes, baby, we have to buy the Toyota Corolla and not the 5 Series BMW. Yes. No, not the new Corolla, the used Corolla. Okay. She knows now. Is Bitcoin a bad investment? You can easily trade Bitcoin for cash on i6 like gold, instantly with incredible low fees, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So let's move on to how we think Bitcoin is going to be worth. It says here, in February of last year, there was a prediction that Bitcoin could actually reach $8 trillion by 2030, which make each coin of Bitcoin $400,000. Now, there have been some other predictions out there, and people want to know how many Bitcoins are left, 21 Bitcoins left. But look at this one right here. That Bitcoin, okay, a few fractions of Bitcoin up to 100, building your portfolio and making it more proper for yourself. Now, there were some predictions. Here's one that I was looking at earlier. It goes in to say how Bitcoin is decentralized, blah, 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 but how Bitcoin price predictions reach as much as $1 million. And this right here, it may not be important for you guys, but it is for me, could replace fiat currencies across the globe. Ladies, gentlemen, replacing the fiat currency system of debt is going to be huge. It's going to hurt a lot of millionaires because that's how a lot of millionaires became millionaires, is by loaning people money through a credit card, through an installment loan, through a mortgage loan, through a car loan, through a business loan, through a line of credit. If you take away that, oh my gosh, regular people that we know that are struggling would do a lot better without having debt. Now it says here that per coin, by the year 2023, they're looking at the low of 63,000. a high per coin, about 145,000. But when we factor in years like 2025, the low could be 275,000 to almost $1 million per coin. Okay. These are just projections. There's no promises. So we absolutely don't know, but we do know that Bitcoin roughly hit 60,000 this year already. And if you guys remember last year, I told you that this year that Bitcoin has the possibility of hitting 100 grand. Now, I said 50 and 60. It hit 60 already, so I was correct on that. But now we're waiting to see if Bitcoin can possibly top 100,000. If Bitcoin can top $100,000, you guys are not investing. You should be kicking your own ass, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, it's very, very possible. Let's look at one more prediction. And it says here, a very high chance that by 2040, its price will most likely be within the 7-digit range of the lowest. According to Plan B's prediction, Bitcoin could be valued between 1 million to 10 million. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy that it can actually do that. So with that being said, I'm pretty much done here. It says, is one Bitcoin 60,000? Not right now. Right now, one Bitcoin, let me look over, is roughly 49,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, you can check on that. I don't know why my screen is freezing. Give me 1 second, guys. I didn't know that you could not see my screen. Give me 1 second. Let me share this with you. I've been having a lot of technical difficulties. I do apologize for that. The internet in the room that we have in Brazil is not so good. It's not so good. So let me show you this one more time. Here we go. And this is what we were looking at earlier, okay? Some of these projections out there that you guys see, how that Bitcoin could essentially replace gold. And this is that projection about that, how Bitcoin by the year 2030 can actually reach $8 trillion, that each coin could be worth 400,000. So hopefully you guys are seeing that. I see that I'm quite about 6 seconds behind. So hopefully it catches up. I do not know. And I'm just going to run through these again very quickly. So for guys who are thinking, you know, are there any Bitcoins left? How do we know? They said, hey, there's like 21 million Bitcoin. So believe me, you guys should be putting money inside Bitcoin. I don't have a full coin yet. I have 0.2% of a coin, but that's still 10 grand because again, Bitcoin is worth what? 49 grand right now. All right. It goes on to say, I'm just looking at the other ones I was looking at. Oh, let's look into this. Bill Gates says about Bitcoin. He said, Bill Gates says that Bitcoin isn't environmental friendly. Research shows Bitcoin mining uses more energy each year than the entire country of Argentina. All digital currency isn't cryptocurrency. I'm going to pass on Bill Gates. I'm not going to talk about his synthetic beef he wants everybody to eat. I don't believe that's good for people either, Bill Gates. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't catch me doing this video. He might shut down my whole computer from where he's at. But here's the predictions I was looking at earlier. By 2023, they're predicting that the low will be 63,000, that the high could be up to 145,000. And then by 2025, the low 275,000 and the high $1 million per Bitcoin. So again, I mean, listen, if you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, you know, I would say every month, drop $20 in Bitcoin. What if? Now, a lot of you like myself, I knew about Bitcoin back in 2010. And till this day, I kick myself in the ass because if I would have invested, listen to this, if I would have invested $100 in Bitcoin, $100, not two, not three, not 1,000, $100 in Bitcoin in 2010 would have made me 3.3 million in 2011. I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I will probably be in the penthouse right now. Okay. That's all I'm going to tell you, but that's my commentary for Stock Talk today. Hopefully tomorrow I can find me another cigar lounge where I can do my cigar talk for about 15 minutes. I won't go as long as I did here because we'll be out and about and there's some restrictions out now because of the spikes. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, this is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great day. I'm out.